Here we go. We've got a show and a showtime to talk about. So many shows, including Shohei Ohtani, who really made unbelievable strides and accomplishments yesterday. Plus, Jacob deGrom goes again tonight. It's deGrom Day. It's the DLLS Rangers Podcast, and it starts right now. Every day is showtime for Shohei Ohtani, and every fifth day, hopefully for the next 3 years, will be showtime for Jacob deGrom. It is a show when he pitches. Hi there, welcome to the DLLS Rangers Podcast. John Radigan here, and we've got Abby Jones and Jeff Wilson both here in studio today. Great to have you along, too. Please like us, subscribe to us, and chat with us, because there's a lot to talk about on this day. As the Rangers begin to wind down their season, they start what they call, Jeff, Fan Appreciation Weekend, and it's always a pretty special weekend for fans. You know, they basically clean out the closets, they start throwing gifts at them, and they do. I mean, they really want to express in many different ways how much they appreciate over the years their fans.
Yeah, and then, you know, attendance is up this year compared to last year. As you might expect, coming off a World Series. But you know, the crowds have been great. You know, there was 30,000 at yesterday's game at a Thursday afternoon start time. Not the easiest one to get off of work or whatever you got. So the fans have been there. Even Tuesday night, you know, when my family went, they were people were telling them, oh, you know, the crowd's only going to be 20,000 tonight. You know, Blue Jays, but the announced attendance was 29. So. Good job for the fans, but yeah, you got your cartwheel bobblehead Adolis Garcia tomorrow night, and then the mystery ring giveaway on Sunday, and then there will be additional giveaways throughout the game depending on what section you're in. Your section might win your row and section might win an autographed baseball by somebody. So those games are sold out. I think they're limited standing room only and obstructed view seats left, but. Yeah, it'll be a fun weekend at the Yard.
Sounds like they need game time.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. And you fans will be taught, if you don't know already, how to get to game time a little bit later. We do want you to join us in the conversation. We always love when you do that. Chat along with us. We're definitely going to get to the Jacob deGrom start. It's a repeat of the pitching matchup from last week with deGrom against Kirby, but we'll get to that. But at first, we want to make sure that we fully wrap up what happened yesterday with Kumar Rocker. You know, it wasn't the kind of outing he was hoping for in his home debut, Abs, but it was, you know, managed well by him, right? He showed the poise and the perseverance to get out of some difficult situations in that game.
Right, and it could have been a lot worse. I think that's the thing to focus on. Rads, I think you said it best, that, you know, his slider and his curveball got exposed in game one, and the Blue Jays had a blueprint plan to, you know, make those adjustments. So this is just a learning lesson for Kumar. Seems like, you know, one step forward, two steps back, but that's just kind of how it's going to go in those first few starts as a major league pitcher. So you're hoping that he can improve upon it. I'm excited for his next start. But we do have sound from Kumar Rocker on last night's outing.
Outside of the results, how did this one compare to the first one?
Good. Try to slow it down, you know, try to make my week as best as possible. I came out there, did what I could with it. The results weren't there, but we got out there.
Coach said your command didn't appear to be as sharp as it was, and the velo was down a little bit. Can you attribute that to anything?
I think command and velo was down last week. I think I'm just trying to overthrow a little bit, so going into this game, I tried to dial it down a little bit, get in the zone a little bit more, and stepping off the gas, put me on my heels a little bit, didn't put me in a good position.
How difficult is that to put a governor on yourself?
It's hard and it's not ideal, especially trying at your second start. But it's what I went out there to try to do, and I learned from it.
So when Mike Maddox went out and visited you, those next two pitches seemed to have a little more to them. Did he mention that to you?
He said turn it on a little bit. He said like top rail here and gave me a game plan. I went out there tried to execute it.
Hey, Kumar, how quickly was it evident to you that, okay, the command's going to be a battle tonight?
Just as evident was last start, just trying to get in the zone with it. It's kind of controlling those emotions as I'm advancing to the plate, and it's going to come.
Like, how do you feel like you battled?
I did want to sit in the game as best as I could, especially with the pitch count. I tried to not give him any damage, tried to limit the walks, didn't go my way, but I wanted to keep the team in the game at least.
You said you thought there would be nerves coming into the game. Just what were they there and kind of just making the home debut?
Right. There was a little bit of nerves, a little less than last outing. That was the goal. And just this whole week trying to game plan and try to get out there and get the best result.
You said before that you're going to try to make the opening day roster in 2025.
Right.
What do you think you've showed the organization in these first two starts?
A guy they can count on. A guy who's going to go out there and try to win and give the best he can.
Man, I just love the fact that he shrinks away from nothing, including, his first post-game interview at the major league level anyway, where he didn't pitch as well as he wanted to.
Yeah, it's something that all starting pitchers do is they're at their locker to talk about their game. And yeah, he honed up to it. He explained what was wrong, and he was right. He made some good pitches. He battled with what he had, and probably in the end, 2 runs was about as good as could have expected with 71 pitches and all those base runners. But he explained what happened and took his foot off the gas. Was trying to find the strike zone a little bit and sacrificing velocity to do that. And he's not at his best when he does that. So I would suspect that is not going to be his objective when he pitches again, probably Thursday at Oakland. Just go out and let it eat. And I think Mike Maddox. So I asked the question about Mike Maddox and the mound visit, and Kumar said, yeah, he said, let's go. And so those next couple pitches were pretty crisp and had some purpose behind them. And, so it is refreshing to see that a guy understands his role as a starting pitcher, to be accountable, talk to the media about it. But then he was honest about it, and he doesn't have anything to run away from. Yeah,
and by the way, you may notice Jeff's playing hurt for us today, too, and we appreciate that. A little frog down there in the throat, and he was yesterday and maybe the day before, too, right?
Yeah,
so
it's
been kind of plaguing you, a little summer cold.
The last few days haven't been great, but that's all right. I think I gave it to Abby, so I'll be okay in a couple days.
Yeah.
Glad I sit over here.
Sharing is caring here.
Sorry you got to sit between us.
It's on the way.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, enjoy your off day with a cold tomorrow, Abs, will you please? Yeah. Let's talk about Jacob deGrom tonight and the expectations that we have for him. Again, same thing. He pitched in Seattle, and that was his first trip back. Your first start back since his surgery. It had been 16 months. And now, what's your stat, Abs? It's been
511 days since he pitched at Globe Life Field.
Yeah, which was the last pitch that he threw, when he felt that was against the Yankees,
April 28th.
And he felt the problems with the elbow. And at first, it didn't seem like it was that bad, and then it was. The diagnosis was that it was Tommy John surgery. And again, second one. It's going to take longer to get back, and it did. It took him basically 16 months to get back from Tommy John surgery.
Right. And, his first outing, it was pretty good. 3 2/3 scoreless innings, 4 strikeouts on 61 pitches. I think his count's a little bit higher today.
I think they're going to stay in the same ballpark. That's what Bruce Bochy said yesterday. There's no real need to stretch them out. It's not like they're playing for anything or that it's June, it's September, and they're out of it. So, but just get him out there and see what he can do within those 60.
And his last game, his fastball touched 97, which is a little light for Jacob deGrom. But his goal over his final starts of the year are just to fine-tune his arsenal. He said, I'm just trying to get things back to where they were, executing pitches like I normally do, really dial things in, and then you can treat it like a normal offseason and get ready to play next year.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Did you talk to him yesterday, Jeff?
No, I mean nothing more than just saying hey.
Hello,
I mean, it was, it's his normal. He's just a normal guy again now, and got the first one out of the way. And it used to be that before every game we would talk to the starter the day before his start, and that's kind of gone by the wayside as our business has kind of shifted a little bit. But he was there in a good mood, eating his breakfast at his locker. I'm sure if we'd approached him, he would have been fine with it. But yeah, he has a plan. He wants to be better. He didn't think he was very good the other night, which, all right, yeah.
The Jacob deGrom standard is different.
If you say
than
so,
ours.
all right.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he does tonight. It's going to be he's facing the same batters, so he's going to have to make some adjustments probably. But I don't want to say it's a spring training start because he competes and wants to get outs, but if you see him throw 5 sliders again in a row, that means he's working on his slider, kind of like you would in a spring training start.
Yeah, and speaking of facing the same batters, George Kirby will do the same thing on this start, too. He just did in his last outing face these Texas Rangers. And look, especially when you consider what happened yesterday, too, offensively, the Rangers are in need of figuring something out, especially against this guy.
George Kirby, some things you can make it make sense in baseball, other things you can't. I think George Kirby against the Texas Rangers is something you can make no sense of. His last 7 starts, he's had a 6.5 ERA, 3.62 on the year.
This is overall. His last
7
starts. Total starts, yeah.
6.5, and then on the year, 3.6. But he's undefeated going against the Texas Rangers in 8 contests this season with a sub-1 ERA, 0.92. He's tossed 31 consecutive innings without allowing an earned run for the Rangers. That dates back to September of 2022. So Kirby is not like this lights-out dominant guy. Their media guide refers to him as the roller coaster because it is so up and down, but my goodness, something works here in Texas, and he is coasting. The Mariners are going to need it. They're going into the weekend 2 games back of the Tigers and the Twins for the final AL wildcard spot. 3 months ago, the Mariners were hot. They were 9 games over the Astros for the AL West. Since then, they're 9 games under. Only the White Sox, Marlins, Nats, Angels, and Rockies have a worse record during that span.
Wow.
Yikes.
And you know what? There is.
They flipped their script
And
completely.
there is something to spoiling, right?
Yeah.
When your one of your division rivals has you have an opportunity to kind of spoil their postseason plans. There's
Kinda like
something
they did
to
last
that.
year to us?
Yeah, they did, and
Karma.
and of course their own got spoiled too. But the reality is that the Rangers are willing; they'll relish that role.
Yeah, you want to you still have to play well. And with Bruce Bochy's talked about it earlier this week, the responsibility you have to go out every day when you're out of it and compete to honor the integrity of the postseason races. And the Mariners are 2 games out of the wild card spot, and it's not like the Twins are really struggling. So there's an opportunity there for the Mariners, but the Rangers are going to go out and not lay down. They're going to go out and attempt to, Jacob deGrom's going to try to go 5 innings, I'm guessing, in his 60 pitches and try to not allow any runs. And then the hitters know that George Kirby has their number, and I'm sure that they will have him fresh on their mind from the other day and might be able to make an adjustment or two. But it's, you whether you're spoiling or not, you need to play well. And the Rangers want to do that. And they won 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays, so they're playing okay.
Yeah. And 2, Julio Rodriguez is a guy that, we are tired of seeing at this point because he's done so well, especially in his last 20 games. He's hitting .337, 5 home runs, 14 RBI, 18 runs scored. So that's the Mariners' hot guy. But our hot guy, Wyatt Langford, we've talked about him in depth. He's hitting .328, 11 extra base hits, 4 home runs, 12 RBI, 16 runs scored in 17 games. So him and J-Rod are, about putting in the same max effort there. And you're hoping...
What was the body of work on Julio there? How
20
long?
games.
20?
20.
So it does extend past, because it almost felt like last weekend when the Rangers saw them, he'd been kind of down all season, and boom, here
Hit
come
his
the
stride.
Rangers, and he's getting on base every time. But I guess it extends a little bit beyond that if we're going back 20 games. But he did not. Julio Rodriguez did not, by his own standards, have a good season.
Oh, no.
Just a strong finish.
Yeah, right. And he's getting hot right now when it matters most for them, and it's frustrating for us.
Yeah, well, hopefully, the Rangers figure out a way to quiet him, and hopefully they figure out a way to wake up the bats, which were sleeping most of the day yesterday too, and had a nice nap against Kirby last time out. So we'll see if those things can happen. We've got lots more to talk about regarding previewing this game, but we also have to take a look. And where's BC today? He's always on there talking
I know, the Dodgers fan.
and Shohei. But anyway,
he's probably still celebrating.
He might
from
be
Shohei.
as Shohei might be as well. But anyway, we want to talk about what happened yesterday, and we want you to join in the chat and let us know what you think. Was it the best performance, game day, single day performance in Major League history? Let us know what you think. Suggest others that might be better if you have any in mind. We'll get to all that a little bit later. But first, we want to tell you, Abs, about
Game Time.
Yeah.
You guys are supposed to chime in.
Oh, sorry.
Game time.
Game time.
Is that the way we say it?
I just say game time.
He's sick, so we'll give him
Yeah.
a pass. Anyway, it's DeGrom Day.
Yes,
And then
is.
it's going to be Scherzer Day and Andrew Heaney Day. So you want to be sure to get out to the field, because these are the last 3 opportunities to watch the 2024 Texas Rangers at home. Get out to Globe Life Field. You are going to need your Game Time app to give you the tickets, because as Jeff said, it is standing room only. Game Time has a new feature to make finding tickets easier. Scroll through, you can find good deals, complete with peace of mind when buying the tickets, because they do have Game Time ticket coverage. I have been in a situation where you buy these expensive tickets, something happens, you don't get your money back, you can't go to the game. It's pretty unfortunate. This just doesn't happen here. They have a coverage plan for you. There's last minute deals, automatic refunds if the events are canceled, lowest price guaranteed. Game Time is your place. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code DLLS for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, go to Game Time today, and use code DLLS for $20 off.
I really like the graphic that they have for us now,
Yeah.
too, that kind of shows exactly how the thing works.
That's good looking.
Really cool, because you can literally, you saw what it was doing. You can go right in and pick your seat, and that is available not just for AT&T Stadium, which they showed there, but also for Globe Life Field. And so you might want to get a seat, if you can, for one of the next 2 games. I know for tonight, there would be lots of fun to be had while you're there, because you will also avail yourself to the Sleeper app. I just know you will. And that Sleeper app has really been fun. Jeff's family just got into it last weekend. I literally downloaded it, as I said I was going to 2 days ago, used it yesterday, ended up breaking even. I made 4 picks and won 2 and lost 2. Silly me picking anything offensive for the Rangers yesterday. But I won 2, I lost 2. Today, I'm on deGrom.
What's his stuff?
6.5 strikeouts.
Ooh.
So which way do you think I went?
Under.
I did.
Under?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not gonna throw enough pitches
Yeah.
to get to 7 strikeouts. So
It's free money, folks.
Yeah, I went under, and but anyway, there's other picks that you can make. There's a Kirby. I think Kirby's. I didn't bet this one, but Kirby's at 5.5 strikeouts.
I'd take the over.
Yeah, you might. The way he's gone against the Rangers, you might. But anyway, you can have fun like we do, and it really is interesting, because yesterday afternoon, actually, there wasn't a lot to cheer about when you're a Rangers fan. But, Elijah and Abby were sitting there with me when, on his last pitch, Kumar Rocker got his 5th strikeout, and it was 4.5. I won the bet because of that. So there's some fun and there's some excitement that you can have via Sleeper. So use the code DLLS Rangers. You get a $100 first deposit match on Sleeper. You see the little sleepy-eyed fella down there. That's what the app looks like on your phone. Really cool, really fun. We encourage you to be a part of Sleeper.
Free money.
And by the way, Sleeper today has Shohei Ohtani at 0.5 for hits, runs, RBIs.
Over.
Well, you sure would think so. And yet, let me ask this question, because I haven't researched this. Maybe you have, Jeff, more than me. Are we positive when he's on there, he'll play? Or
Yeah, he has to play for the bet to count. If he
Okay.
doesn't play, then that part of your bet goes away.
Okay, very good. But yes, the over seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And yet, he did a lot yesterday. Maybe he's tired, you know?
I think a normal person would be. He's clearly not normal.
Clearly. Unbelievable.
Clearly not normal. Are we going into the Ohtani?
We're going into it right now.
Let's talk about it, baby. I think we have a photo from, I think, one of the best games in baseball history. All biased aside, if you like baseball, you liked this game. Shohei Ohtani became the one and only player in MLB history to go 50-50. 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. Heck, he even went 51 home runs, 50 stolen bases. He went 6 for 6, 3 home runs, 10 runs batted in. Insane stuff.
2 stolen bases.
2 stolen bases. We'll start it off. So he started the game with 49 stolen bases, 48 home runs. He got his 50th stolen base, top of the first. He hit a double, stole third. Check. Then, top of the sixth, he hit his 49th home run on an 85-mile-an-hour slider, 43.8 feet, out to right field, second deck. That was two-run home run. Then, he's going to hit his 50th the next inning. Top of the seventh, 89-mile-an-hour knuckle curve, 391 feet to left field. Again, another 2-run home run. And then, if you're at 50, why stop?
Why?
Why? Because they were up, I think it was 17 to
4
or
or 3
something
Yeah.
there. So they got a position player in. And he gets a home run derby pitch tossed. It's a 63-mile-an-hour fastball, 440 feet to right field. 51 home runs for the lone soldier of Shohei Ohtani. And also, he is the first 10-game RBI by a leadoff hitter.
Ever.
Ever.
Yeah. So right now
a unicorn.
he's at. I saw somebody put it on MLB. They had a pretty good line about that. Said he's not a unicorn because he's real, right?
He is real.
Unicorns are fictional.
Who was
he
it
is
that
real.
pinched him at the All-Star game? Do you remember?
Yeah, to see if he was real.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, right.
I don't remember who it was.
Is he at 5150 right now?
5150.
Okay. Does 5150 mean? I know it doesn't mean anything to you. 5150 mean anything, Jeff?
No, I mean, I think the next big one would be 60-60.
No, 5150 is the name of a Van Halen
Oh,
record.
you're right.
Yeah,
right.
50.
I just got that.
Nobody more than
I just
Van
got it.
Halen. Nobody more than Sammy Hagar was the lead singer then. Nobody more than Van Halen hopes that he stays on 5150. Right? It'll give him a resurgence. It's a pretty good album, 5150, or so get it on your Spotify or however you get your music now, and you'll enjoy 5150. It's a great album, and I Shohei might have listened to a little bit at least for today, but he may be off those numbers by today because he is so unbelievable. And the thing that's so amazing about him is you see his post-game comments afterwards, and it's, of course, triumphant and yet very respectful of the game and of the other people who play the game.
He somehow acts like this is just normal,
Right.
I mean, my really good friend is the Dodgers team reporter, and I'm like, are you just having the best season of your life covering this team? I feel like I've texted her every few days being like, oh my gosh, I saw this interview. What a historic moment. This is amazing, So it's so cool. I wish it would have happened at Dodger Stadium, but at this point, hey, you take it where you can.
And Miami, that stadium down there in Miami is big to him because he got Mike Trout swinging in the World Baseball Classic to end that game, and Japan beat the United States in the World Baseball Classic. So he has very fond memories from that. That was a huge accomplishment for Japan, and then now he has this too. So
and that goes back to my point of if players have a very historic moment at that field, like, are they better there? Like Aaron Judge at Globe Life Field, Corey Seager at Globe Life Field, now Ohtani there. So
yeah, there's something to it.
I think it plays into
it.
it.
I think there's something to it. They get a feeling. They're in a happy place, right, when they're at that place. So and so it kind of begs the question, is it the best game? And I think most people would agree, given the context. Look, the Dodgers needed the win in order to clinch their trip to the playoffs. They haven't clinched the division yet. I think their magic number is still 6 there, but they needed a win to clinch the trip to the playoffs, and he needed all of that to happen on the same day in order to get to these historic numbers and sort of get the monkey, if you will, off his back, because everybody's waiting for this to happen, The wait is over, and there's no doubt he feels some relief from that. So that's a great game. But, Jeff, you and I think you said yesterday you were at the 4-home run game.
Josh Hamilton's 4-home run game, in Baltimore.
May 8th.
May of 2012.
Yep.
He went 5 for 5.
Right.
The one
was
non-homer was a double, the one hopped the wall.
Right.
All 4 of his home runs were 2-run homers. Elvis Andrus was on base for each one of them. So 4 homers, 8 RBI, 18 total bases. Big number there. Obviously, a great game. Ian Kinsler went 6 for 6 on Jackie Robinson with a cycle.
Yep.
That's a pretty special game. Mark Whitten had a 4-homer game in the late 90s for the Cardinals, 12 RBI. So you can say whether or not this was the best game. I mean, the third home run Ohtani hit yesterday was off a position player.
Right.
Does that tarnish that? So still a great game, obviously, and the history that he made in doing it. But in the knee-jerk reaction world of today, is it the best game ever? We need to put some thought to it. We can't just go out and say yes, that's the best game ever.
I looked on MLB and MLB.com, and I saw each team's best game ever, right? There's one offensive game for each team, and we're not going to run through all of them, but Josh Hamilton's 4-home run day was the best for the Rangers. Believe it or not, I was at another one. It was the May 5th, 1925. No, I'm not that old.
1925.
No, I'm not that old. No, actually May 5th, 1925 was Ty Cobb. 38-year-old player coach Ty Cobb hit 4 bombs, had 16 bases in the game, and I think he had 10 RBI as well in that game. So that's the best one for the Tigers. It lives to this day. But the one I was at was actually at Tiger Stadium. It was Fred Lynn. I was a kid in the stands at Tiger Stadium, and Fred Lynn, it might have been his rookie year in '75, but all of a sudden he announced his presence that day with a 3-home run game, and it's the one in the MLB.com that's called the best in Red Sox history. That was a signature. Now, let's see, he was 5 for 6, 3 homers, a triple, and 10 RBIs, 16 total bases for him in that game too. So, pretty cool that these everybody has one, right? And they're all somewhat similar numbers-wise to what Shohei did numbers-wise yesterday. Sometimes it is the context. With all the great history of the Yankees, the best game on the list for them was the Reggie Jackson we talked about yesterday. I'm the straw that stirs the drink. Yeah. He had 3 home runs in the World Series against the Dodgers.
Context plays into that. Yeah,
and it was against 3 different pitchers, and it was one of whom was our buddy Charlie Huff, by the way, and it was on the first pitch of each at bat for Reggie.
Okay,
that's how he got. That's how he got the name Mr. October. That game in '77, right there.
Well, it's like you remember a couple weeks ago when Trav had that really great catch, and we were watching like MLB's top 10 plays, and then I think like number 1 was just like literally a fly ball to like right field, and it was so effortlessly caught, and we were like, "What the heck? How is this number 1?" But then we were like, it was a no-hitter. Okay, so context definitely plays into that. But also, I mean, not on his list definitely that day, but Ohtani also passed a Dodgers record for the most single-season home runs. He surpassed Sean Green from 2001. He had 49 home runs. And, of course, he went yard 3 times to bump that number up.
Right. Sean Green had a 4-homer game maybe that season. Adrian Beltre was part of that one in the Hamilton homer games.
Yeah, that's
There you
right.
go.
That's right. And that's a rarity in and of itself, obviously. And I can't remember when we covered the Josh one, was there ever been a 5?
No.
There hasn't been a 5. I thought that was right. And Josh was, that close.
He was very close.
He hit that
unbelievable.
ball
Maybe
off
if he
the
would have had a
wall.
position player.
Yeah, right. So we
Pitching
couldn't
to him.
believe in the Josh Hamilton game, we couldn't believe they kept pitching to him.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
walk him.
Well, and the Marlins, could have walked him there with the position player in the last inning or even the inning before, but they didn't. And their manager's getting some props for that. Skip Schumacher, go after the guy. He said, go after the guy and try to get him out.
Yeah.
Jeff, do you remember who gave up Aaron Judge's home run? For 62?
Jesus Tinoco.
Okay, yeah, because I was wondering, I was like, I know that's such like he gave up a home run, but again, you're still in Major League history. Like, it's got to be somewhat cool.
I don't think I'd know it if he didn't pitch for the Rangers.
No.
Right.
You wouldn't, and most people wouldn't know this
But
if he wasn't our friend. But Mike Bassick gave up Barry Bonds' historic
did he?
home run. Yeah, Mike Bassick. Yeah,
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 see,
and
so
like Al Downing gave up 715 to Hank Aaron. Some of them, but
yeah. So
maybe on
anyway.
the wrong side, but still, you're a part of
And
history.
by the way-
More I can say.
Right, and by the way, Mike Bassick's in the Hall of Fame for that, right? Like,
Right.
there's a notation
Yeah.
of him
There's
in
a-
the Hall of Fame. This is not, he'll
it's
tell
like-
you himself. He's not a Hall of Fame pitcher.
No, I took a picture
he's
of it
in the
when I
Hall of
was
Fame?
there in July. There's a picture. It's his hat and a Bonds jersey, I think.
Yeah.
I might have it on my
Yeah,
phone here.
that's
But
cool.
yeah.
Pretty cool. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's all part of the history. What a historic night it was for Shohei Ohtani. So that's our chat about that. And coming up next, we want to talk a little bit about what to expect during the offseason. It's the last homestand of the season for the Rangers. 9 games left. It's almost time for exit interviews. A year ago, we weren't talking about exit interviews yet, but now we are. We'll talk a little bit about the offseason, but also get you ready for the final 9 as we continue. But first, we've got to tell you about the best possible sunglasses that you can buy, and that is Shady Rays. Now, yesterday, when we were sitting in here, Jeff was at Globe Life.
We needed them.
We really needed them because the sun kind of sets right over there. We've got these beautiful big windows in our studio here, which does help light us. Yesterday, it helped heat us, maybe overheat. I was afraid Abs was going to pass out on us here.
I was losing the few brain cells I have left.
Swear to goodness, we were ready to. We would have, if we'd had our Shady Rays handy, we would have popped them on because it was getting bright, and of course it reflects off the big mirrored glass buildings out there. But these sunglasses would be perfect for that. They're polarized. They're darn near indestructible. You can't break these things. They're great designs. I mean, you look down there at the little picture. That's one of many, many designs. You can get them in your team colors. The color array is amazing, both in the frames and in the lenses. You can mix and match the colors, frames and lenses, and I think they're lightweight and they're so comfortable to wear. I think you will absolutely love them. They will not break the bank on you either. They are not ridiculously expensive, as good looking as they are. So please do us a favor, do yourself a favor, and go to Shady Rays and use the promo code DLLS, and you will get 35% off your sunglasses. Like Abs was saying yesterday,
It's pretty generous.
35% is significant. That's not just that's not just like a little token
anybody
effort.
can do 20%.
35% is a significant saving. So do yourself a favor, get yourself some Shady Rays.
And you're going to need Shady Rays because you're outside enjoying life, whatever it is you do. You need a cooler, too. And not just any cooler. You need a Rugged Road cooler. Rugged Road is dedicated to creating innovative and durable outdoor gear for adventurers who demand the best. I demand the best.
We know.
Their products are designed with the highest quality materials and craftsmanship, ensuring that they perform in the toughest conditions, whether on land or water. These things float. Rugged Road gear is built to accommodate and accompany you on every adventure. We've talked about this. Whether you're floating down the Brazos, or whether you're fishing with buddies, or lugging snacks and soft drinks and Gatorades to a baseball field. You want something light that's easy to transport and that is going to take a beating, because these coolers, I think they're built like they're like luggage. They're built to be replaced. But Rugged Road's products last a long time. They're versatile, they're dependable, they're lightweight, and they float. So gear up for your next adventure with Rugged Road coolers. Reliable, durable, and built to be used. Rugged Road is your ultimate outdoor companion. Head to ruggedroseoutdoors.com and use DLLS for 10% off. So head to ruggedroseoutdoors.com and use the code DLLS for 10% off.
Back in my day, we didn't get drinks and snacks unless we won.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is a good parenting hack.
Right?
I'm tired of the participation.
You like the
trophies.
participation? Yeah, nobody
No.
likes that. I don't either. But
No.
again, this was Michigan, not Texas. Everybody needs the drinks and the the replenishment. Some healthy snacks while they're playing
You
in
gotta
this
win
kind of heat.
to
But
earn it.
in our day, man, there wasn't water out there. There wasn't snacks. There wasn't
Used to be
Gatorade.
a proper country.
But we got to go to A&W and have root beer.
Oh, there you go.
That was great.
Well, now that we're in the snack game, it's the baseball team doesn't do snacks after every game because it's tournaments and whatnot, and so. But the softball, Molly's softball, her first game is tomorrow, and it's not just like a drink and a snack. It's like a drink and 3 snacks.
Do they want like a
Really?
charcuterie board?
Yeah, it's really gone over the top, and some people will pack a piece of fruit or something, and some people will pack healthier snacks. But it's like Gatorade or Capri Sun, chips, cookies, fruit snack. I mean, it's
you
like
can't even
it's like a
go
meal.
play a
It's
game.
not a snack. It's a meal.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
And if you, as a parent,
we got to keep up.
right, if you don't
We
come
can't-
through, right,
Mo-
everybody's giving you the stink eye.
Molly's gonna kill us. So
Yeah.
we gotta bring our A game to this thing.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah. So, so
You guys are good
evolution,
parents.
right?
Yeah.
The evolution of the snack game at the Little League game. So,
Well, speaking of snacks, and if they won, they would get some. The Rangers need to win at least 8 of their final 9 games to avoid becoming the first defending World Series champs to finish with a losing record since 2014 Red Sox.
yeah, and it seems obviously pretty unlikely that they're going to win 8 of their final 9. It's not impossible.
Not impossible.
But
But
it seems pretty
unlikely.
unlikely that they'll win 8 of their final 9. But until they are mathematically unable to do that, we'll keep talking about it, and we'll also, as they are, and they have been for probably close to a month now, we begin to and continue to look at the offseason and look at what might happen and look at how things might go because this time of year, Jeff, is typically, if you're not in the playoffs, you're gearing for next year already, even as you play hard and play out the rest of the final games of the schedule.
Yeah, well, that's why you're seeing deGrom and Rocker pitching for next year. I think that you're hoping to see some adjustments right now from Adolis Garcia. The pull side homer he hit the other day, Bruce Bochy said yesterday, is a example of some of the adjustments he's making to be on time with the fastball. So yeah, there are things that you're looking just to take some positive mojo and get some good feedback to go into the off season with, and free agency and trades and whatnot. That's something that the players can't control. Certainly something that we can't control as media. We can just sit there and see what's happening and make phone calls. But internal improvement, that's one thing offensively, especially, that the Rangers are gonna need to really have for next year. And to Natalie's point, will there be any bats coming in this offseason? Well, potentially, yeah. First base potentially is a position that could be upgraded. I know Nathaniel Lowe is a fan favorite, but with 13 home runs, that's a position where you have to hit for power. Catcher, not going to replace Jonah Heim, but maybe have a more suitable backup to help him split time and maybe not be as exposed as perhaps he's been this season. But I think Adolis Garcia getting better, Jonah Heim getting better, Evan Carter getting healthy are 3 big things that are internal improvements that can help the 2025 team. Now, Evan Carter still didn't get a chance to work out his kinks against left-handed pitching, so is he going to be a full-time player next year? You want to give him that chance because he's so young, but do you need to get a right-handed bat to go with him? Probably. So maybe some veteran bats, something that generates a little competition and brings out the best in the guys. there's a lot of ways to do it, and platoons might be a way that they go.
So, Abs, you're really good at pronunciations. Would you pronounce the name there of our Japanese friend?
Thank you.
Yeah, look at that. We love it. Somebody from Japan is
I
in
can't
on
even
it,
try.
and we can say congratulations to everybody in Japan. I know that what Shohei Ohtani accomplished is a reason
amazing.
For any baseball fan in Japan to celebrate. So welcome to the DLLS Rangers podcast, and congratulations. I'm sure that was a fun. I guess it would have been late night.
You think?
In Japan when Shohei was doing what he did.
Yeah, and we did a whole
yesterday.
segment on it too. So
yeah.
Well, right now
hit the rewind.
It's 3:40 a.m. in Japan.
Wow.
Okay,
All right.
so yesterday when
But it's Saturday, so it's
right.
Yeah.
So yesterday when we were on, it was
that-
actually possibly
So
early
this
morning.
guy's just getting back from the bars.
Yeah, looks
Celebrating.
good. Yeah, we appreciate it. I don't blame him. Yeah, had a reason to celebrate.
Love that. But no, I mean, I think that the bats are something to consider because if you look at the 2023 offense of the Rangers, they led the American League in runs. They had 881. The run differential this year is massive. I mean, it's a big, big problem. They had the best batting average in Major League Baseball, 263, and on-base percentage 337. So, you know, those injuries again play into it. Like we talked about, there's just not that many. There's not much of a sample size with Josh Young and Evan Carter in the lineup. I think combined they missed like 89 games. I wonder how many games they've even played in together, healthy.
Right.
I feel like it's
It's a small number.
It's a very small
very,
number.
very small. So, you know, those are big bats that you're losing. And again, Evan Carter against the lefties, like that's no doubt an issue. But the offense wasn't there this season, and we will have, you know, some of the Rangers coaching staff on here to help us work through those issues and maybe shed light on things that, you know, they didn't disclose or we didn't pick up, things like that. But it's just been a very stark difference.
It has been, and it has, you know, to your point, many of them scratching their heads. I had a long conversation with Jamie Reed, who, you know, is not only the medical director for the Rangers, but especially when John Daniels was still around, he became a real confidant of JD, and they're still friends. In fact, they both went and spoke at Jamie Newberg's class the other night at SMU, and Jamie was recounting to me how he was just scratching his head with JD, you know, going at that point. We've scored 225 less runs than we did last year. And, you know, it's one of those, it's a little bit like, why is George Kirby so good against the Rangers, right? You can't just sum it up in one thing. You can't just explain it. But it is a head scratcher. Because all those guys that we're talking about have the talent. It just hasn't manifested itself.
Yeah. And, you know, really Mitch Garver's the only guy that the only big bat that was a big part of this the team last year that did not return this year. And, you know, you can add in Josh Smith. I kind of think Josh Smith, Ezekiel Duran from last year are kind of like a one-for-one swap there, what they did. And then I just, man, you know, it is a head-scratcher. But you can look from the very first spot in the batting order. Marcus Semien is not having the season he had last year. Corey Seager, same career year for Corey Seager. Still a great year this year for Corey Seager. Then you go down, Nate Lowe, Adolis, Josh Young injury. Even Leody Taveras had a markedly better year last year. Jonah Heim. This is the names we've been talking about ever since we launched 3 weeks ago, and they're the names we're going to focus on this offseason. But that's a massive number, 225 runs. I mean, that's more than a run a game,
right?
And it's just where did it go? And that's Tim Hires and Donnie Ecker's job this offseason to get that run back.
Yeah.
Well, it is interesting, too, because in yesterday's game, David Murphy was doing color, and, you know, his final game was October 2015, and he even commented to Raymond, he was like, I'm interested to see these off-season workout plans and programs, and Raymond was like, you're a former player, like, didn't you have them? And he goes, I did, but I think it's just not even comparable with all the analytics this day and age and nutrition and dietitian and all those things. Like, that was, I don't know, 9 years ago, and it's changed that much. So even former players are like, I have no idea what the system looks like now, but I'm very interested because the Rangers are no doubt going to be working the hardest this
No,
offseason.
no doubt about that, Jeff. What time is it in Spain?
Oh, in España?
Oh, we've got
España.
the-
We're international.
Whole
I would
wide
guess
world
it's 6 hours. I'm
and our
gonna guess
podcast.
7:45.
We are an international podcast. Vadim, thank you very much for
You know, my
checking in
parents
with
are
us.
in Italy and they have been watching our show.
Have they really?
Yep,
we
they
appreciate
watched
that.
it.
It's 8:45 in Madrid right now, so buenas noches.
Buenas noches to Vadim and the rest of our Spanish friends. We appreciate you very much. When we come back, we are going to talk about some of the playoff races, the chases, the stat chases, and some of the storylines as we head toward the postseason. It's a baseball podcast, after all. But first, it's time for us to talk. Abs, you're going to
T-shirts.
talk about our merch.
T-shirts. Jeff, when is yours coming in?
Well, I think they ship Monday.
All
So
right.
hopefully by the end of next week, I am styling and profiling.
All right. Well, we offer T-shirts. We offer hopefully sweatshirts soon. Hats are on the way. And gift cards, all of the things. But we have merchandise. And number 1, it's durable. Number 2, it's comfortable. Number 3, it seems light and breathable. Number 4, it's affordable. I'm running out of things, but it's all of those
That's
things.
a pretty good list.
Well, that's
That
a
is a
nice
pretty good
list.
list.
Yeah, I don't know that I need anything more.
And they've got Cowboys, Mavericks, Rangers, Stars. Are they doing a TCU?
There's a TCU shirt. Yep.
TCU shirts on the way, Dallas Wings, all of the things. We also have locations in Philly, Denver, Phoenix, Chicago, and here. I think that's all of them. But even if you're a fan of, say, the Bears, you can get a sweatshirt or the Nuggets. I don't know why you would be, but we have all of the options for you. You can get a gift card for friends and family that live in those cities. Jeff's got a brand new bag.
My peeps in Denver will be
be
modeling
swagged out.
some of this stuff here pretty soon,
Fantastic.
I would imagine.
Gonna be swagged out. So anyway, we have just tons of options here, and the more that we sell, it seems like the more fun the designs become. So buy them. I want a little barbecue shirt.
Yep.
A little Tex-Mex shirt could be good. Now I'm hungry. Go to store.allcitynetwork.com and check out the DLLS locker.
Yeah, and if you're going to have the gear, you just might as well go ahead and be a diehard, you know.
Well, you get more gear.
Yeah,
I didn't steal your line.
You
I
did
left
not.
it for
I
you.
appreciate that. Yeah, so when you become a diehard member
There you go.
at alldlls.com/join-diehard, this is what you get. You get a free T-shirt every year, not just once. This is just a one-time deal. It's every year. So for your $80 that you're going to be pumping into this thing, you're going to get basically a $35 shirt. So you're getting a membership for $45. Let's say. I mean, if you want to do the math that way, do it that way. That's how I choose to do it. You get 20% off any additional merch you want to buy at store.allcitynetwork.com. And there's a Diehards Only Discord lounge. You get a Diehard member card, 20% off events, including our stadium takeovers and tailgates and watch parties. And it's also an ad-free experience. So if you don't like the ads, you got to become a diehard. So there's really it's a win-win for you. You know, we're cheaper than the legacy outlets in Fort Worth, which really doesn't even cover sports anymore. And in Dallas, we're the national athletic doesn't cover the Rangers anymore. We went and took their basketball riders, so we're in good shape there.
Yeah.
So just that money needs to be diverted. Divert it over to us. Become a diehard member. alldls.com/join-diehard.
Yeah, it's a great idea. And the thing I love about the shirts that, you know, of course, you get the free one if you become a diehard, and Abs told you about all the other shirts available. You know what I love about them most of all?
What?
We get to wear them to work.
Oh, yeah.
After 40 years of
With
being
the
the
tie.
only guy in an entire venue wearing a suit, right? I'd be there and I'd be like, not one person. Back in the day, you know, you'd go to a game and everybody was in a suit and a hat, you know, back in, I don't know, 20s, 30s,
Yeah, and
40s.
the
Back
Ty
in the-
Cobb. I'm
back
sure.
in
Yeah,
the
the
day.
Ty Cobb game.
Sure, the Ty
Yeah.
Cobb game. All the men were in suits.
Yeah, not anymore. I'd get there. I'm the only guy in a suit. What's going on here? So
I did.
this I like. Yeah.
It didn't make sense to me.
No, never did. I'd see the guys for some of the national sports networks. We'd be at Cowboys training camp or at Rangers spring training, and they'd be out there with us, and we'd all become friends, and they're just kind of kibitzing, and then it's time for them to do their on-camera portion for their story, which we call a stand-up. And before they do, they run over somewhere into a little restroom or something and put their shirt and tie on just for the stand-up, and then they go take their shirt.
Jeff Kavanaugh wore like a suit today.
Did he?
Yeah.
For what? He was like lose a bet?
No, I think he wanted, they were doing their really big Cowboys pregame prediction show. I think he wanted it to come across
A little
very
gravity, a
seriously.
little gravitas.
Yes, so
Okay.
he was a suit, but he pulled
There's
the rat.
BC.
Pulled the rat again because he had on like sweatpants under it.
There's
Shorts.
BC.
There you
We
go.
wondered where you were, BC. We've been talking a lot of the Dodgers, and if you look on the chat back a little further, one of your brethren from Japan is also clearly a Dodgers fan. So fun time of year. It's obviously a lot more fun as last year was, but when your team is headed toward the playoffs, and last year it was like, I think, doubly fun because the final weekend of the season might have rendered a division title, and it might have rendered no trip to the playoffs. I mean, it doesn't get a whole lot more exciting than that, and it turned out just fine for the Texas Rangers, who obviously did not get the division title, lost it on that final weekend, but they did get a trip to the playoffs, and of course we all know how that trip to the playoffs ended. But really a fun time of year to be watching other teams this year that are going through similar things, Abs.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster, no doubt. The Mariners are still contending for the AL wildcard spot. Like I said earlier, 2 games back of the Tigers and the Twins. Tigers have been hot. We have a really big tie to Detroit, and those are probably our guys when the Rangers are done.
No doubt.
But Tigers, August 4th, had a 0.2% chance for the
Jeez.
playoffs. And now
They're in, right? As of right now, are they the third wild card?
they're tied.
Okay.
But now they have a 42.7% chance.
Yeah. Okay.
So, just in a few weeks, I mean, it's almost double. I don't even know the math there, but they have a chance.
Math is hard.
The
Yeah.
Twins have lost 20 of their last 30 games, dropping into a tie with Detroit for the third American League wildcard spot. So Twins are in a little bit of a slump. Tigers are on the way up. The Phillies, they can clinch for the third straight day. They were playing the Mets. They lost last night 10-6. They're looking to clinch. Dodgers did win yesterday 20-4 over the Marlins. And then the Guardians also clinched yesterday a win over the Twins 3-2.
Yeah, and in the Tigers' case, they're tied with the Twins right now, but the Twins have the tiebreaker.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
they actually need to win more.
Right.
They have to have a better record than the Twins in order to clinch that third wild card spot. But the Tigers have won 4 in a row, and as you mentioned, Abs, the Twins have been struggling a little bit lately. So,
And only the American League West and the National League East just are the only 2 left without somebody in the playoffs yet.
okay, they haven't. Nobody from either of those 2 divisions has even clinched a playoff spot yet.
No,
which
Phillies
means
were supposed to for 3 days in a row.
right, but that means it. Again, it remains exciting, and this is one of the things baseball was doing, Jeff, when they added the wild cards and they continued to grow the level and the numbers in the playoffs. Is they were trying to keep it more exciting for more fan bases, and I think that has definitely been accomplished.
Yeah, and with the extra wild card team, things are more interesting. At the trade deadline, there are more teams who think they have a chance. It encourages more teams to make trades and go for it, if you will. And the Players Association is all for more playoff teams, and obviously the ownership is, because it's more money for them. But it doesn't need to be to the point where teams that are below 500 are getting into the postseason or anything like that. Nothing
Agreed.
crazy like the NBA and
NHL for that matter.
occasionally
Yeah.
the NHL. Yeah. So,
yeah.
it's a tighter probably TV schedule in the postseason, because they got to get it done by a certain time, because the NFL then takes over, and so that's always kind of a hand-wringing situation. But you want drama. You want your sports to mean something, and it's crazy how at the end of the longest season in sports, these last 10 games are incredibly meaningful. And you look at the standings. There's not going to be a 100-win team this year.
No.
Which is a little surprising and unusual. So I don't know if that's parity or if teams are just having off years, whatever it is. Because you have the extreme awful team with the White Sox.
Yes.
But you don't have the extreme good team. So it feels like it's wide open, and I think the Tigers getting back into it. The Braves now on the outside looking in. That's kind of. It could be anybody could win the World Series. Really, it's just a hard one to pin down.
Well, and certainly nobody would have figured the Rangers were going to win the World Series at the beginning of the playoffs last year when they had to go on the road, for that first round. And of course, in that first round, you don't get a home game.
Yeah.
All 3 games in that wild card round would be played. I mean, you don't get a home game if you're, the visitor. All 3 games were going to be played in Tampa Bay. Of course, the Rangers only needed 2 of them. But it's a 3 game. It's a best of 3 series, and there weren't going to be any here. So pretty amazing the way that the baseball playoffs are working, and awfully fun too, especially since we have such recent memories of the Rangers doing so well in it. There's some stat chases that are going on right now too as we get down to the wire, and they're not necessarily involving the playoff teams. You got the double, triple, you got the total bases / slugging percentage, and of course, loss leaders will start at the bottom. That is the White Sox, Jeff. And right now, they're at 36-117. Now, if they get to 121 losses, that's the record for the most losses in a season. 120 was set by the 1962 Mets, and that's one of the reasons I love to look at these things. 1962. I mean, we're talking, all those years ago, 62 years ago, when a team they have to go 6-3, the White Sox, to avoid getting to 121.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was the Mets' first year.
Right.
It's not like they were an established
team.
The White Sox entered the season with some stars. I mean, and then they were a playoff team not that long ago.
Yeah.
So, I don't. That one's a head scratcher.
It really is,
and it's just abysmal. And I don't know how quick that turns around. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah,
you're
not going to win. You're not going to go 500 next year. Right. After a year like this, the double triple one's cool. Jarren Duran of the Red Sox, who of course was the MVP of the All-Star game as well. He's at 45. Doubles and 13 triples to lead in both categories. Actually, right now, you know what? Corbin Carroll passed him yesterday, so he needs to get one more triple or 2 in order to take that. But the last guy to win, to lead both categories was Lou Brock.
Oh, wow.
In 1968. Before that, the last guy, another Cardinal, was Stan Musial in 1945. So that's a fun one to watch. And Jarren Duran. Yeah, Duran. Hungry like a wolf, right? So anyway,
look it up, Abby. All right.
He's very. Yeah, she had no
I'm
idea.
looking up something.
Yeah. No, he's really fun to watch too. And the final one, of course, it involves Aaron Judge. 400 total bases and a 700 slugging. Right now, he's at 368 total bases and a 687 slug. And that hasn't been done since there was a stretch there. We know what era this was, when Barry Bonds, Luis Gonzalez, Todd Helton, and Sammy Sosa all did it in the late 90s at various points in that year. Prior to those guys doing it on the juice. Oh, did I say that? Prior to that, it was Jim Rice. Back in 1978, 400 total bases and a 700 slug.
Wow.
Sheesh.
Yeah. In 78, the Red Sox were good. That was the year they collapsed, right? To the Bucky Dent hit the home run. And wow, that's a big number. Rice and Freddie Lynn going all the way back to the first segment. Those 2 guys were rookies of the same year. And,
what a run.
Yeah. Good night. How did they not win a World Series in there? And they didn't. They came close, I guess, in 75, but these numbers are, baseball is tied to its numbers more than any other sport.
Yes.
The asterisks on 61 or whatever you want to say it was back then, and the lengthening of the season for Roger Maris to get that extra home run to beat Babe Ruth, and now it's these total bases, it's I think the Duran one's pretty cool. The doubles and the
doubles and triples.
And I never thought of Stan Musial as a
speed guy.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool.
I even forgot I made a for no legal rights on the graphic. I drew the
That's
MLB
really
logo.
good. That's awesome.
But I meant to do that when we were going.
When we
on
were
the-
talking
yeah.
about this, yeah. Well, you can
But-
either
We'll just keep it.
you can either
But we will
introduce
keep
a
it,
segment, or
and
you can
we will be
close
talking
a segment.
about the playoff picture to come. Who's going to be your playoff team? You got to pick one.
Do I have to do it right now?
No, you can think about it.
Okay, I'll think about it.
Think about it.
We know, Abby and I. We've got Detroit ties.
We're going with the Tigers.
Yeah, we got Detroit ties. We're rooting for the Tigers once those playoffs begin. So we're also rooting for you. We appreciate you jumping on, BC. Finally, glad you had a late lunch and all that stuff.
We
But
love it,
anyway,
guys.
glad to have you on. Glad to have you
awesome.
chatting. Don't forget to like us. Don't forget to subscribe to us. Don't forget that we'll be back on Sunday. We'll have a pregame and a postgame before the finale against the Seattle Mariners. It's also before and after the final home game of the season.
And
so
lots of deGrom coverage today on DLLS Rangers. So
there you go.
there you go.
There's social media coming at you. So we appreciate you. We will see you on Sunday.
We all city like the mayor.